before we even start with the video, I just want to have a huge bold disclaimer right here. Ripping off the games, assets, audio, animations, etc. is illegal and you should not be doing it. No matter who you are, game developer or content creator trying to prove the point, who is right and who is wrong for the sake of somebody else's benefits. You're putting yourself in danger. And we are talking about two big companies, Battleset Games and More Fun Studios, that is funded by Tencent. So no matter who is right and who is wrong, if you put the evidence of you ripping off the game on the internet, any of those two parties can sue you, you know, so I do not know if that is worth it or not. With that said, yesterday I uploaded the video of my first impressions where I was reacting on Nikita Buyanov's tweet where he is claiming that allegedly Arena Breakout is ripping off assets from the Escape from Tarkov. Now, I just want to be clear, Nikita never said Arena Breakout Infinite. The whole internet said it for him. Be careful. I'm just saying be fucking careful what you're doing, okay? This is one of the tweets. Theirs. This is a second tweet. They. This is a third tweet. He never mentioned any names. Why? Because he knows with who the fuck he is dealing with. And you should too. With that said, yesterday I uploaded the video of my first impressions in regards to this tweet right here. And despite the fact that all of the things that I did said in the video are true and fact, I missed out the wider picture. By the way, I just wanna be extremely perfectly clear. I do not know if those yellow items are from Arena Breakout Infinite. So during this video, I will be referring to the yellow ones as they, them, okay? They, them. TLDR, in the previous video, I completely overlooked these types of the pictures because this did not matter too much, but it kinda did matter a lot, and I completely missed the point in the previous video. Yes, both of the meshes are based on the in-real-life weapon part. And when 3D modelers are modeling one-to-one scale replicas in the 3D, they are taking fine measurements in real life and they're applying those measurements in 3D. But the issue is that I completely missed out is this, for example. There is a lot of mechanical parts here, you know, and those would vary. But here you can clearly see that they are perfectly aligned on top of each other. Although I was extremely focused on the details. This is Tarkov, this is they, them. Let me first explain the triangulation that is happening here and that is not happening here. This is the AK-47 downloaded from the Sketchfab, links in the description down below. The whole AK is built from quads. Quads means that it has the topology of 4 vertices. 4 vertices are creating one face. In any 3D software, you're pretty much working with the quads, but as soon as you import this model in the Unreal Engine or in the Unity, it is gonna become triangulated. Triangulation is pretty much splitting every single quad into 2 different faces of 3, right? It is just the way how game engines work. You can triangulate in a 3D program, so Unreal Engine or Unity do not have to do it for you. People are doing that, so conversion when they are importing in the game engines does not break the model. But the thing that I wanna let you know is that if you're trying to rip off Tarkov, when you steal their model, you're gonna get triangulated model. You're not gonna get model in quads. You're gonna get the converted model that is not in quads anymore, it is in 3s. You know, it's triangulated. Which means that the model is bricked. It's bricked. It's triangulated, you know? Now, you might be wondering, can you make those 3s into the quads? Yes, you can. But I'm gonna explain it to you on this cube right here, okay? So let me just subdivide a few times. The hotkey is Ctrl-T for triangulation and Alt-J to remove it, okay? Ctrl-T, triangulate, Alt-J, quads. Now, you might be wondering, what would happen if I try to convert those 3s into the quads here on this AK? Well, if you do that, you're gonna get a clusterfuck. You might be wondering, why is there 3 here? Why is it not converted into the quad? That's a great question. Let me explain. When something is triangulated like this, Blender does not know what exactly is quad. This is the quad, but this is also a quad. And 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 this is also a quad. They're all quads, right? So when you convert it, you're not going to get the original quads that you had on the mesh, right? So when you convert this back to quads, you're going to get clusterfuck. Absolute garbage. The 3D software is going to do its best to make the quads, right? But it is impossible to get the original mesh of quads, which means that they then had to modify Escape from Tarkov's 3D models in trees. And you do not do that. You do not want a 3D model in trees. Nobody ever does that. It's impossible. With that said, there is a lot of people that are mentioning decimate modifier. So let's talk about the decimate modifier. I'm gonna blow your mind now. What do you think will happen if I add decimate modifier on the mesh? What do you think will happen? If the answer is you will decimate the mesh, you're correct. You're gonna decimate the mesh. Now the question is that mesh usable? No, it's not. When you're decimating the mesh, you're getting unusable framework of the mesh. You know, it's that simple, dude. Like, none of this makes sense. What is this, homie? What is this? What is this? Unusable. When you're decimating the mesh, it's unusable. And by the way, I'm talking about the decimate modifier on top of the mesh with the quads. Decimate on the model with the trees is even worse. It's even worse. Like, what is this? Homie, do you know how much time it would take to clean all of that? You don't do that. You do not decimate. You do not convert tries to quads. You do not do that. Okay? I hope that you understand how triangulation and decimation works. So, if this is the original AK, and if I put triangulation here, when you port this inside of the Unreal Engine or inside of the Unity, they will not re-triangulate this. This triangle stays, as I explained earlier. Which means, so this is Escape from Tarkov's dust cover. You have triangles here. Boom, this is a triangle, this is a triangle, this is a triangle. All of those are triangles. We do not see the converted version of the triangulation, and that's really important of the Battlestate games. This is Escape from Tarkov's dust cover, okay? This is the quad. This will be triangulated into this, okay? But because Battlestate games did triangulated this part right here, and because Battlestate games did put quads here, you see, this is going to be triangulated here, which means that if you rip off this model, the game engine is going to do this, or it is going to do this in quads, right? But game engine is going to skip this part. This is the quad again, so game engine is going to do this, or game engine is going to do that, right? The game engine is going to just triangulate the parts that are not triangulated, right? Although this part is triangulated already. This part is triangulated already. This whole part is triangulated. But they do not match here. This triangulation is completely different than this triangulation. And even when you're looking at the position of the vertices, here, there is not the same amount of the vertices, let alone the same positions, completely different. It looks similar, but it is not similar. I can see the difference. I do not know if you can see the difference. I can see the difference in the wireframe, right? And on top of that, as I said, triangulation looks completely different here and here. They're not the same. To modify the original work that is in triangles and make it in something like this, it takes more time and more work than making it by yourself. Same thing goes with those caps right here. I already explained it in previous video, but I'm going to explain it once again. When you triangulate the quads that look like this, you're going to get this, right? Which means that this button should be triangulated like this. Boom, right? This button looks completely different. It's triangulated like this. My point is, this is Battlestate games. Gray ones are Battlestate games. Look where their triangles are, and then apply that logic of their triangles on the yellow mesh. I hope that makes sense to you. I really hope so. Although the thing that I will point out is the thing that I completely overlooked in the previous video of my first impressions, are those overlapping pictures. And this completely changed my perspective. After I uploaded the video, Nikita also posted this picture, and there is a bunch of different similarities, but I do not even know who to trust anymore. You know, I do not even know, do I wanna believe Daddy Nikita? You know what I mean? I don't know. I would not be surprised if he accidentally copied and pasted his own fucking model here, you know? Like, for example, this right here, it's not the fucking same, dude. This is not the same framework, brother. I do not know who is insane here. And again, look at the triangles. They're not the same here. You know, they're just look at the triangles on their mesh and look at the triangles on their mesh. That's the key component. The angle and the size of their triangles and where do they connect versus the angles of their triangles and how do they connect. This is not the same mesh. It's not the same. It looks the same. It feels the same, but it is not the same mesh. Same thing goes with this right here. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see this? Boom. How it's flat, but here it's curved. You cannot use decimate modifier to do this. You can't. Looks the same, not the fucking same. It's not the same. It's insane to me that I have to school people in 3D that have 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience, 25 years of experience. It's insane to me that I have to teach you how triangulation fucking works and decimation works. It's ridiculous to me. With that said, the thing that I'm convinced it is happening right here is that them took the model of the escape from Tarkov. They took the model, and then based on their model, they started with making their own shit. Them took Tarkov models as a reference, and they modeled their version of the guns, of the weapon parts, based on Tarkov. This is what happened. This is not the same model. And Nikita Bulyanov cannot. This is not the same. Nikita Bulyanov cannot sue them. They cannot. And one more thing. If Nikita Bulyanov wants to prove the whole internet that they ripped off his models, he should show us this. This right here, this list that you see, all of those numbers are positions of every single dot. Do you see those dots? All of those dots here? Those dots have their own position on X, Y, Z, right? And they're listed right here. So if he wants to prove that they stole their assets, we need to have the list of the positions of the vertices from his model and from their model. If the list of, I do not know, 5,000 vertices, right? If 80% of those vertices have the same alignment, that means that it is stolen and modified. If all of those are tiny bit different, then you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything. You cannot prove the point. So dear Nikita Bulyanov, stop with clickbaiting, because this right here is clickbaiting and it fucking works. If you want to prove the point, just give us the list of vertex positions from your model and their model. I hope that I teach you something new. If I did, leave a like, subscribe with the notifications on. Nikita cannot win this. Thank you guys for watching and see you next one. Eroktic out.